is up, my beautiful people? My name is G-Vans and welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be talking about the new album by Dizzy, Wright, and Demrick entitled Blaze With Us 2. This is the new collab project by Dizzy, Wright, and Demrick, two really underrated rappers in the game right now. And it comes to us after about 3 years since their first Blaze With Us project came out back in 2016, I believe. And that one was actually a really dope stoner album. You know, I don't listen to stoner albums that much, only because, you know, I'm not a weed smoker myself. But when I first heard that album back in 2016, I actually thought it was a really decent album, you know. And I think the reason for it is because it was like super underrated, like very underground, and anyway, it just overall gave me a lot of old school vibes. And if you want to talk about recent solo projects by the two rappers, this album comes to us about a year since Dizzy Wright's album Nobody Cares Work Harder, which came out back in March of last year, and Demrick's solo album entitled On The Go, which came out back in August of last year. So with this being the long-awaited and long time coming second installment to their Blaze With Us series, Demrick and Dizzy Wright are pretty much back to once again roll up, share nothing but positive vibes, and overall make some really great get high music. Honestly, I think what I like the most about this album is that it's not your typical stoner album. You know, I feel that most stoner albums always have the rappers, you know, talking about how much they smoke for the whole duration of the album. And in my opinion, that shit gets really fucking repetitive really quick. And it just kind of like sounds like they didn't really put much effort into making the album. You know, they just like got high and said, fuck it, let's make an album. You know, like that's how I view most stoner albums as a non-smoker myself. However, this album isn't really all about, you know, just getting high and waiting for the plug and all that shit, even though a few tracks on here do consist on a lot of weed anthems that, in my opinion, are actually a bit more catchier. A lot of the tracks on this album are really inspirational and very uplifting in general, and I feel that this album is more about the thoughts you get when you're high. You know, I know that for the most part, some people like do have these really like stupid thoughts when they're high as fuck, but I feel that some people like get really like inspirational and like, you know, really emotional and just overall like start thinking about some really awesome shit on how to like make their life a lot more better when they're high as fuck. And that's pretty much like what I feel this whole album like talks about throughout the whole duration of it. Honestly, both Demrick and Dizzy Wright are the biggest highlights throughout this whole album. You know, Dizzy Wright shines on his own on this album with his like very rapid, fast flow and just his overall amazing lyricism that I always really fucking enjoy. You know, I don't know how many of y'all know this, but he actually used to be a part of Funk Volume. So he used to be with people like Hobson and Jaron Benson and just everyone that was a part of that label before all that shit went down back in 2016, I believe. And you know, I just always really enjoyed him when he was a part of that crew. You know, I think Dizzy was one of the best members from Funk Volume, and he hasn't disappointed me so far, you know, both in Funk Volume and after Funk Volume ended. You know, he just always like found a way to like shine on his own and just take the fucking rap game by the fucking balls, in my opinion. And of course, Demrick once again brings back his old school underground rap style, which I think is really fucking amazing. You know, I shit you not, Demrick kills it on every fucking beat on this album. He's very excellent in each track on here. He's always on beat. I think I've said this multiple times in my past videos, but, you know, Demrick might actually be one of my favorite underground rappers right now. You know, I can't really compare him to anybody else, you know, both overrated and underrated, because I just feel that he is his own, like, different breed of human being in general. You know, he's in his own fucking lane. You know, he's been hustling since, like, a 17-year-old, just, you know, doing, like, his own thing. You know, I just really love how he just always has like something positive to say, you know, just something like really inspirational and motivational. You know, he's just that kind of rapper that, you know, has gone through a lot, and, you know, he's like happy to be where he is now. And, you know, he's just like living proof of, you know, anything is possible with hard work and, you know, a really great hustle and just a really great personality in general. So yeah, shout out to you, Demrick. I really enjoyed you on this album, and, you know, he is just you know, that artist that I like always look forward to whenever he does like make a new project. For the most part, the production value on this album isn't anything special in my opinion, because I do think that some beats sound a bit generic, unfortunately. But I will say that it is at its best when DJ Hotbug is on the track and he's like doing his own thing with his like unique production skills and, you know, just his overall like really like great skills in general. And especially on songs like We Ain't the Same and Ziploc and Woke Up, you know, those are the few tracks where I personally believe that DJ Hoppa delivered some really great hardcore and chill beats in general, and just made the album a lot more great and bearable. I do think that some songs on here are a bit unnecessary, only because they are a bunch of basic weed songs, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because, you know, obviously, you know, it is a stoner album. You know, you are going to hear a lot of weed songs, and, you know, there were quite a few tracks on here that were a bunch of weed anthems that I actually really enjoyed and were really fucking great and memorable. But for the most part, you know, some, you know, weed songs on here just sound like the basic, like, catchy shit that you hear on today's radio, that isn't like as memorable or as like great that you would expect from a Dizzy Wright and Demrick collab project. So yeah, that's sort of my sort of like opinion on you know, the few unnecessary songs on this album. However, even though I do think some of the weed songs were unnecessary, you know, obviously, you know, some stoners are gonna really love those songs. There was only one track on here that I actually didn't like and felt shouldn't have been on the album whatsoever, and that's the song entitled Don't Worry. And the reason for that is because, you know, that's the one song where Dizzy and Demrick were like really trying to like be like a lot more creative and experiment, and for the most part, a lot of the creative and experimental shit throughout this whole album is really amazing. But just that one song entitled Don't Worry is where they're trying to do like a reggae vibe to it. And honestly, I just don't think it really worked out. You know, I think reggae is something that is like really, really tough to do, and you know, try to like make good in modern day times. And, you know, I just didn't really like the whole, you know, reggae and hip hop vibe that they created on that one track. So yeah, you know, that's the one song I actually like didn't like and felt that shouldn't have been here and would have been a lot more better off, you know, without it. But besides that, a lot of the other tracks on here aren't, you know, that bad, you know, in my opinion. I did really love the fact that you hear a bunch of background voices of, you know, Demrick and Dizzy Wright just, you know, having fun and, you know, just laughing with each other, you know, because you can obviously tell they were having a really good time, you know, getting high and making songs, and just like throughout the whole like recording session of this album, just seemed that they were like just having a really good time in general. And it was a lot more funnier at the end of the album, because the dialogue between Demrick and Dizzy got to the point where I'm pretty sure they didn't even know what the fuck they were saying. And, you know, that was just, you know, in my opinion, a really like funny thing that they added on this album. You know, it sounded like really genuine and really real. You know, it's just one of those like funny moments that you will never forget in an album, in my opinion. Although I don't think this project was as good as the first Blaze With Us album, I do think it was a decent album overall that Demrick and Dizzy obviously took their time with, you know, both with the production and their lyrics and everything. And so I definitely do recommend this album to all my stoner friends out there, all my stoner fans out there, and to anybody that is a really big lover of the underground hip hop. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed my review. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click that bell down below, all that good stuff, so you don't miss a single one of my uploads whatsoever. And don't forget to stay happy.
Smoking on that la la.